Yo, what up? I'm Christopher Markland, and welcome to another edition of Markland Mondays. Tell you what, tonight we're going to be talking about consistency, and I can. Doing this thing consistently allows me to work out the bugs because I don't know what the hell's happening. But regardless, we're up. What's happening to my people on Instagram? Because we are both live on Instagram and Facebook. My man Czar, Caesar, I should say, Stephanie, what's going on, y'all? So tonight, like I just talked about, we're gonna be talking about, as we do on every Markland Mondays conversation, we're talking about different aspects of dating, different aspects of different relationships, and just, I mean, this whole, just dating as a whole, especially in 2021, and all of the nonsense that comes along with it. We have different things such as, we got dating apps, we got all of the damn tools at our disposal to be able to date, but the problem that we have is how we date, right? The consistency that we display, and I'll be honest with y'all, the reason why, because I know a lot of times just from talking to people as I was setting up for this topic, doing my show prep, as it were, spoke to both a lot of men and a lot of women as far as what it takes to be consistent in dating and the reasons why either my dudes out there aren't consistent or my ladies out there, y'all don't, hate to say it, give us a reason to be consistent, but we're going to talk about that as I splash water all over my face. So let's talk about consistency, right? One of the things that consistency, like I said, allows us to do, for me with my business, you see these books on the wall. I can write one book, but that's just, what they call it, a one hit wonder, right? You can write two books, write three, as I'm about to drop this third. As I do that, I learned how to be a good author. I learned how to tell a story. I learned how to develop, each narrative, all of those things that come along with it. So it's like, the only way you can get better at something is to do it and then do it consistently, right? So it doesn't matter whether it's your job, it doesn't matter whether it's something that you're endeavoring to do, whether it's a hobby, it does not matter. You have got to do it, and you have got to do it consistently. So that right there is the most important thing. Is not just to do it one time and think you got it, right? And also how that helps us when it comes to dating is it helps to eliminate the representative. Because y'all, let me know if you've been out there with somebody before, and you go out on a date, one date, 2 dates, 3 dates. So you seem to be a pretty cool person, pretty cool dude. For my ladies, well, you know what? Let me not even say that. I keep forgetting that we're living in 2021. It ain't even for men and women anymore. It's just a matter of who you're dating. But like I said, you meet someone and you're going to meet their representative. So what that means is you're not going to meet the real person. You are going to meet the person that they put towards you. However, if you date them, the more that they have to show up, they either have to be consistent or they're going to have to fake the hell out of it. Sooner or later, the real them is going to come up. It is hard for you to consistently be a jackass. It is hard for you to consistently be someone that you are not. And the only way that you can really dig through that is either for you to force them to consistently show up. In other words, like, okay, for me, I hold the door open for my lady, not because I'm putting on a show, not because it's foreign to me. That's how I was raised. So if I'm consistently holding the door for her, right, and all of a sudden I just stop, it's going to trigger some red flags like, all right, why the hell is this dude not opening the door for me? Not that she expects it, but because of my consistent behavior, she's gotten used to it. So any change in the pattern, any change in how I move, any change in the what would be considered the norm is going to trigger something, right? So based on that, though, it's like, how do you consistently keep doing what you do? Now, as I said, from talking to a lot of my ladies, a few ladies out there, as I was telling them about what I was going to be talking about this week, they said that is one of the main issues that they run into in dating. All right. They meet a dude, everything, it seems cool. It's like, all right, he's attractive, he's blah, 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 got the job, got the this, got the that. Damn, my eyes are red. Anyway, he's got the, everything on the surface that seems good. So they start out dating, everything seems to be going well. Then all of a sudden, it just nosedives. The question is why? How can they're not being consistent, and that's the problem that they were having with the dudes that they were meeting. The everything started out good, then all of a sudden they just stopped. So ask yourselves, why is that? You know what I'm saying? Why why is it that these dudes aren't being consistent with the ladies? I hate to say it, y'all ain't necessarily giving them something to be consistent for. Um, right, everybody's been talking about Steve Harvey and his 90-day plan or whatever, where you don't give up the goodies until you're 90 days in when you're dating or whatever. And people have been giving him hell because his daughter, what's her name, Lori Harvey, she's dating Michael B. Jordan, and she's basically been, how can I say this nicely? She's been testing the waters in a lot of areas, right? And it's like people are saying, well, hey, wait a minute. Your own daughter isn't waiting 90 days before she entertains gentlemen callers. However, you, Steve Harvey, are telling all these other ladies that they need to do that. So in other words, your own daughter is not practicing what you yourself have been preaching. So does that mean that Steve Harvey's wrong? Nah, not at all. Because quite honestly, the dude's right in my opinion. Because us dudes, most men and a lot of women out there, y'all let me know if I'm right or wrong in the comment section, either on Instagram or Twitter, or not Twitter, excuse me, Instagram or Facebook. Y'all let me know if you agree or disagree. Men are hunters. In other words, we see what we see. We scope somebody else like, hey, shawty, I see you over there. We go holler at them, right? We go hunt. Once you've bagged the prey and you done ate good, you've feasted on her, what more is there to hunt unless you keep him going to where he's going to want it some more? You know what I'm saying? So that does play a part in why a lot of dudes aren't consistent. Just like Shell Flown over there on the Facebook side of things, she's saying, yo, either we put out too quick or not fast enough. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because like I just said, if you put out too fast or too quick, then he done ate. Holla at you, he's out, right? If he's not a dude that sees more in you than the twat. Or if it's not fast enough, then quite honestly, that ain't necessarily what you want anyway, because 9 times out of 10, if it's not fast enough, either he's putting some pressure on you, or he's doing this or he's doing that. But whatever the case is, you're not giving it up for a reason, and because you didn't give it up, he bounced. So if that's all he was sticking around for, then is that necessarily what you wanted anyway? Either way it goes, you saw the lack of consistency in his behavior, and quite honestly, that ain't what you want anyway. So you're actually winning. Now, on the flip side of things, though, and I'm gonna hold my dudes accountable for this one. You can't get away from it, fellas. A lot of times we just want that twat. We just want that thing. So therefore, we don't necessarily. We're being disingenuous in how we approach women. And a lot of times we may be that gentleman, like I said, hold the door open for her. We may, take her out to eat, take her out, treat her like a queen or whatever, right? But the minute that we get them draws, then it's like we out. And that in and of itself is not being fair to her, and it's not being fair to you. So if you are just with her just for that, let it be known, hey, I'm with you just for that. That also is going to lead to another conversation we're going to have that about later on, is honesty. There's a difference between honesty and transparency. And a lot of times, we've gotten those two confused. And because we want certain things, we're not honest with it. Now, we may be transparent in that, hey, you know what I wanted. Based on what I've said, you can see what it is that I wanted. You didn't necessarily tell them. You just used your actions or something along those lines to let it be known what you wanted. That's not honesty. That's more transparency. But like I said, we're going to dig into that conversation a little bit later on. Right now, like we're talking about consistency. Welcome to everybody that's on Instagram joining in, and also to my people over there on Facebook joining the conversation as well. What up, Carrie? Whoa, Carrie Hunter, long time no see. My people on Facebook checking in. All right, y'all, as I was saying, we are talking about consistency. Consistency in everything that we do, but specifically and especially consistency when it comes to dating. One of the reasons why I wanted to have this conversation now is because it's a new year. Y'all know it all the time. You see these people out here, new year, new me, which is what we talked about last week, and they get their resolutions and they hitting the gym and they doing the damn thing. They start eating everything from grass to lawn shrubbery, whatever the case may be. They just eating all this, in other words, trying to work on themselves. However, starting something is a hell of a lot different than finishing, and also what you do in between. The same rules apply when it comes to dating. If you are dating somebody, and you know what, I'm listening to myself, and y'all best believe I am taking my own advice, because even in my home, in my relationship, there are things that I know that I have got to be consistent in, not just consistent, because just, being honest with y'all, there are things that I've dropped the ball on. There are things that I started out doing and I'm not doing now, and that's not fair to her. You know what I'm saying? That's not fair to me. That's not fair to our relationship. So with that in mind, it's like, okay, I know that I've got to do these things, and if you know you got to do something and you don't do it, then quite honestly, you're just being a jackass. And I'm a lot of things. Well, I guess I'm a lot of things, but I am not a jackass, or at least not consistently. But if you start something, you got to keep doing it. Now, that brings up the flip side of that. And ladies, I really want to hear from y'all on this one. You started doing something in order to get the man, but it wasn't really who you were. Y'all feeling me on that one? You did certain things to attract him, to keep or to get his attention, that isn't necessarily who you are. Does that mean you need to keep doing it? And once you do tell him, that goes back to the honesty versus transparency question. If you do say, yo, you know what, this isn't necessarily me, this isn't who I am, how his reaction obviously is going to dictate how you stay, whether you guys continue seeing each other, if you're already in a relationship, whether it's, gonna continue being. But the at the end of the day, you have to tell him. But also, even before you get into that situation, and it's really, and my man Juan Molina, he just posted that. It's only so long you can pretend. Your true intentions will always shine through. That's exactly what I'm talking about, y'all. That representative, you can put up who you want to be, or more importantly, be who they think, or who you think they want to be. In other words, all right, if he's, got money, you can only floss for so long before the bank account's really gonna holler at you and be like, you know what, I can't afford to keep this facade up. This is not what it is. This is not who I am. This is once again my representative. So if you cannot consistently keep up something that's not true, or that's not true to you, you gotta pull the trigger sooner or later. All right. If you have to start out being somebody, meaning, like, for instance, for my ladies out there, and hell, this is Atlanta, probably for a couple y'all dudes, it don't matter. You got your hair, makeup, all that stuff done every damn night, right? You start out, if y'all start FaceTiming, before you FaceTime, you just put up, your whole face, makeup, all that good stuff done. And then you jump on the phone, it's like, hey, and it's like, you can't do that, but for so long, sooner or later, that bonnet's going to show up. Sooner or later, that face and the makeup and all that, it's going to be the real you. So you can only, I just had a flashback. Y'all, I went on this is a while back. I went on a date with a young lady. It's like, okay, yeah, she's looking right. Man, later on that night, we were FaceTiming. It was a fake. Well, anyway, I was like, who is this gremlin? I'm like, this ain't the same person. I'm so sorry. My bad. I think it kicked in. Anyway, I swear to God, true story. I'm like, yo, let me talk to your sister. She's like, what you mean? I'm like, this cannot be the same person. Oh God, my bad. Back to what we were talking about. Consistency. I'm so sorry. That flashback hit me. Oh God, where was I? Oh yeah, the representative. My bad. Thank you for keeping me on track. The representative. You can only keep putting forth that representative, and also if you don't allow that, if you don't keep that person honest, then they're not going to keep doing the same things that one, you expect, and two, you've gotten used to. Like, for instance, I just referenced a while back about holding the door open for my lady, right? So she's gotten used to that. And there are times where I may be doing something and I'm distracted, so she's just standing there by the door, like, all right, bro, what you gonna do over here? It's hot. I need to get in the car. And it's like, oh snap, let me hold the door open for her, that kind of thing. So it's not a matter of she's demanding that. It's not a matter of it's an expectation, but it's a matter of that's one of our norms. So if you if you don't hold your partner accountable for certain things, then guess what? They're not going to necessarily do them consistently. And it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? As for you, the things that you want, one, you got to let them know. And then two, when they start doing it, you say, all right, I appreciate you doing that. And when they fall off, you reel them back in, be like, yo, remember we talked about this and this is what I need for you to do it consistently, not you be like, you know what, I did say I wanted that, but he stopped or she stopped, so I'll be okay. No, consistently. So wait a minute, first of all, the FaceTiming story I just told y'all, that was a while back, and it wasn't really FaceTime. What was that app called? Duo, Google Duo. So it was way before I had an iPhone. So let me not get myself in trouble over here because, yeah. Anyway, the point of the matter is it was consistency or the lack thereof in who this lady purported herself to be, and that was the issue. So anyway, she's holding you accountable. Go and get that door, bro. That's what Michelle says over in Facebook. Yeah. Now, all right, for everybody that's on Instagram, everybody that's on Facebook, let me know something that your partner started doing, or even if it's not your current partner, because I ain't trying to get nobody in trouble. If it's not your current partner, but let's say it's someone that you started dating or someone that you started seeing from the first date to when you ended things, give me an example of something that they started doing versus and how they stopped and how that made you feel. Like I said, for me, that one particular case, I can't really say that we were serious. I can't, that was just a date. I forget how I met her, but like I said, when we went out, it was one thing, but when I saw her again, it was like, good Lord, it was something completely different. So, I can't really think of another such situation. I know, well, there are some other situations, but I'm not even gonna bring them up in this forum. But it was a situation of, yeah, you started doing that. You even told me you liked doing that, but now what the hell's going on? So now it's like, damn, what did your dentist say? It's like, I don't understand. Why are we not doing that anymore? That kind of thing. So that's one thing for me. What about y'all over there in the comment section? Let me know. Also, as I'm looking at the time, we are really about to wrap this one up. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for joining in. This is something for me that I'm going to be doing consistently, y'all. Every Monday, barring some unforeseen situation, we are going to be doing this Markland Mondays conversation. Let's see, but before we go, Carrie, he is a truck driver. He used to text me little cute messages. I feel like it's changing. I'm feeling some kind of way. All right, before we go, let's talk about this. Carrie over there in the comment section in Facebook, she just posted that she was dating or is dating, was a text or dating a truck driver, and that he used to send her cute little text messages, and then he stopped, and because of that, she's feeling some kind of way. That is actually, I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. A lot of times us dudes do that. We may start out sending flowers. We may start out with the cute little text messages or whatever. And then, quite honestly, we get comfortable. And ladies, there's a fine line between holding somebody accountable and nagging. There's absolutely, positively nothing wrong with wanting someone to keep doing what they're doing. However, you don't nag them, because that's what that does, is that then changes what they used to do, hopefully because they wanted to, into now being an obligation. And you don't want anybody in your life doing something out of obligation. You want that person, your significant other, the person you may be dating, someone that you care about, to do things that they want to do to show you their affection. So when you say, Taisha, she just joined the chat in Facebook. When you say explain the difference, you mean between an obligation or break that down for me as far as when you say explain the difference. Somebody over Instagram said that he probably sent that to everybody. Carrie, I ain't gonna. I hate to say it, but that could be true. But I don't know the aspect of y'all's relationship. I know a lot of dudes. Check that. I'm gonna call myself out. I was kind of sort of guilty of that. The scientific term for that is fuckboy. There was a point in time in my life where I was kind of guilty of that. I had a stable, and it wasn't that big. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, hey, what's happening, babe? Good morning. How are you? That kind of thing. And I'm just basically passing the time. I've grown. I'm now a grown man, and I don't do that. What you mean? Wow. That's the truth. So it all depends on your situation specifically. That was he sending that to everybody up to other women? I don't know. Maybe how long you guys are dating? I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be a truck driver, and that's when I wasn't the best of people. So therefore, it gets boring on the road sometimes. So you just, hey, what's going on, baby? How are you? What's you doing? And it's 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Somebody just keeping me company. It's like, all right, she ain't hitting me back. Let me hit up the next one. What's going on? Hit the next one. Like you said, copy and paste. Hey, hello, beautiful. Good morning, beautiful. What you doing? Whatever. I hate to say it. I was guilty of that. That's why I'm doing this Markland Mondays now. This is like court ordered therapy. So it could happen. But like I said, there's a difference. I think Taisha just in the Facebook chat just asked, what's the difference between nagging and holding that person accountable? There's absolutely nothing wrong with you demanding that your partner do what got you with them in the first place. And I think that a lot of times us dudes really, once we get our women, we get comfortable. And don't get me wrong, whenever you get in a relationship, you do get comfortable. It's like, that's the person I wanted. I got them. And now it's not necessarily getting the person. It's now maintaining, keeping them. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we don't realize that we aren't doing what it takes to keep our mate, our partner, our significant other happy. And like I said, this is me being real with y'all. That's something that I am struggling with right now because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. So I'm speaking from personal experience. It's like your partner, they're going to tell you, and I'm talking about dudes out there, they're going to let you know, hey, you used to buy me flowers every day. You used to take me out on dates. You used to send cute text messages, whatever the case may be. You don't do it anymore. Why not? Demand that honesty from them. Why don't you do it? Why do you not send me or do the things for me that you used to do? So, you have to ask that question. And what I'll say, Michelle, that's what I'm saying. There's a fine line between, Michelle in the Facebook chat says there's a fine line. I was saying there's a fine line between nagging and holding your partner accountable. And I can't speak to society. I just basically, that's kind of like how dudes are wired. No man wants to be nagged. I'm sorry. That's, we just don't. Do you get comfortable? You do get comfortable. Plus we had to talk about that. I told him the way you start, you don't. Yeah, there you go. The way you start is the way you need to be. And that's what I was saying. Don't start doing something that you are not going to be able to do consistently. I'm saying that for both my dudes and my ladies out there. Don't do something that you cannot do consistently. If you're doing something just to win them, say that. You don't bring me flowers anymore. Yeah, okay. In the Instagram, you're right. Okay, Michelle. Yeah, dudes will nag. But not. Nah. Ladies, man, Who nags more, men or women? I'm just curious. When you hear of nagging, who do you think nags more, men or women? I'm just, you know what? That should have been my question of the day. Who nags more, men or women? Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up because but I am gonna stay in this chat because it's actually getting pretty interesting over here in Facebook. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for joining in, both on Instagram and on Facebook. I'm sorry, I had to stop because there are all kinds of lies and untruths and just besmirching the good character of all these great men out here, saying that us men nag more than women. I am shocked and appalled at the we got to do better than this, y'all. Y'all cannot say that we men nag more. That is, you know what? I'm out of here. Y'all have a good evening. What you mean nag for a BJ? That's not nagging. Y'all should be doing it because y'all love us. Come on now. I'm sorry. She over there clowning in Instagram talking about we nag for a BJ. Y'all should be doing that out of the goodness of your heart. It's in the Bible. Y'all have a good one.